Welcome to City and State TV. I'm Albany reporter Ashley Hupful. With me today is Senator-elect Jesse Hamilton. Thanks for joining us.
Always a pleasure to be with you, Ashley.
Great. We can start off with, why don't you walk us through why you decided to join the Democratic Conference?
Oh, well, I represent a diverse district from Sunset Park, Park Slope, Gowanus, Crown Heights, Prospect Heights, Flatbush, East Flatbush, and Brownsville. I've been great friends with Jeff Klein for a prolonged period of time. Diane Savino, like myself, was from the union. DC 37, like myself, working your way through the ranks, advocating on behalf of those who can't advocate for themselves. So with talking to constituents in the community, talking to people who work in my inner circle, we decided to join the Democratic Conference.
And what are some of the legislative priorities that are going to come out that will serve your district?
Crime has been a big issue in our district, especially in Brownsville. I know Jeff Klein has introduced a New York Safe Act to get guns off the street, which we need that also. Education is a priority also, as far as upgrading our school systems. As far as technology, we're lacking in technology. The income inequality gap is increasing more and more between, for families of color and white families. So we want to bridge that gap to make sure everybody can stay and live in New York. One of the main issues, no matter where I went through the district, was housing, affordable housing. Even from Park Slope to Brownsville, it was always affordable housing. And right now, with the minimum wage, it's hard for people to make it. If you're working 40 hours a week, you're only making $1,400 a month. You take out taxes, you take away your Metro card, and you only have $1,100. You haven't even paid for rent, food, clothing, and medical coverage. So that's something I want to work forward to, is increasing the minimum wage, having a living wage for people who are working. We had a job fair on Thursday. We had over 100 people there. People who had jobs, who are underemployed, and who really want to work. The vast majority of people want to work, but now that they're working poor, and we have to change that. We shouldn't have people working for minimum wage and then the employers making millions of dollars. To me, that's unfair. It's not the American way.
Mm-hmm. It's no secret that you were in talks with the IDC at one point to debate going and joining their conference. Why did you ultimately choose not to join their conference?
Well, I'm a person that works with everybody. From Andrew Stewart Cousins, Mike Gianaris, and ideally we have to. I'm looking forward to representing my constituents and making sure I bring home the services that they need in the community. Right now, the legislation that we want to introduce, as far as the gun laws in our state, as far as the Gardner case. I have a young son, 11 years old, and he said, "How could this happen in America? How can someone be murdered and nothing happened to the person that murdered that person?" So right now, my constituents, they want to see some more transparency in our community. It's predominantly a community of color, and it's no longer an issue of color, it's an issue of justice. As we've seen in the demonstrations, it's all ages, ethnic groups, religious groups coming together and saying, this is where we draw the line in the sand. You have a man selling cigarettes, and within 10 minutes, he's dead on the ground, left there without any medical attention, put in a chokehold, officer compressing his knee on his head. So I'm looking forward to passing legislation with those who want to make a change and having a special prosecutor. I went to Civilian Police Academy. I understand what officers go through. It's a stressful job. They're putting their lives on the line for us, and the vast majority of police officers are doing a great job. But when you have a police force, which is the largest in the country, 1% of those who may not be doing the right thing cost many lives that are being cost today. So my main objective is to make sure we have transparency in the having a special prosecutor. It's hard for a ADA who works closely with the police department to go into a grand jury. And the grand jury is kind of like a closed door process, judicial process, that we have to look at more closely.
Mm-hmm. And what is it about the Democratic Conference that you think will help further those goals, legislative-wise?
Legislative-wise, the Democratic Conference is predominantly a conference of people who represent areas of color in our state. And in talking to them, one of the main concerns right now is making sure that a Ghana case doesn't happen again to anyone in the state, regardless of your color. And so I look forward to working with the Democratic Caucus, with Andrew Cousins, with Jeff Klein, with the IDC, and also Skelos from the Republican Party, because the Democrats don't have a clear majority at this point in time. So we have to work with other state senators to make sure we bring justice to our community, that we bring back faith in the criminal justice system to many of the residents throughout our state. And so that's what I look forward to doing, is just working with everybody who believes that we can make a change for our state and move in a brighter and more positive future.
Arguably, the IDC would be a better position to work with both sides. I mean, that's what its creation was about, was to work with the Senate Republicans. You don't think that a position in the IDC would have created more of a working relationship?
To me, it doesn't matter. It matters which party that you're with, but at the end of the day, we have to work. Everybody has to work together. And when you have put labels on different groups, it kind of separates. But I believe that everybody can work together, integrated as state senators, for the betterment of our state. Whether if you're a Republican, IDC, or Democrat, my philosophy is that we all have to work together. At the end of the day, we all have to bring back services to our communities, our constituents. We all have to deal with affordable housing. We have to deal with our educational system, which is lacking, somewhat, and making sure we provide jobs in our community. So I believe at the end of the day, the budget is being passed on time with the governor, and I believe that we're going to be working forward together with a bright future ahead of us.
When did you make your decision to ultimately join the Democratic Conference?
Actually, we solidified it today, actually. Before this, before coming here, talking to different people, and we made a determination to reach out to everyone, let them know what I was doing and moving forward, and that's why.
Did you make your decision previously, though?
Previously, I would say, like, over the weekend, I came to the conclusion, talking to constituents, talking to everybody in the community on how I should be moving forward. And like I said before, Andrew is great, Jeff Klein is great, and I look forward to working with them as we move forward in the future.
Was there a reason it took you so long to make a decision? Was it a difficult decision to make?
Well, it was a decision that, no matter what decision I made, someone was going to be happy. I've known Jeff for a prolonged period of time because I was a district leader for 8 years, so I was active in the political party. Diane Savino is a state senator from Brooklyn, so I talked to her also. So I just wanted to make sure that I was able to talk to everybody in my constituencies to move forward, because at the end of the day, I had to bring the services back to my community.